What if one kiss could destroy everything you thought you knew about loyalty, love, and survival? In a world where trust is a luxury and betrayal is currency, two souls collide in the most dangerous place imaginable, and what happens next will leave you questioning every choice they make. Before we begin, if you love intense romance, emotional twists, and stories that stay with you long after they end, hit subscribe now, because this story will break you and rebuild you. The air inside the juvenile detention center was always heavy, thick with unspoken tension and stories that never made it outside those walls. Every corridor echoed with footsteps that carried secrets, regrets, and unfinished lives. But that night felt different. That night, something irreversible was about to happen. Carmen had learned long ago that emotions were a weakness. Growing up surrounded by crime, betrayal, and violence had taught him to build walls higher than anyone could climb. He kept his distance, trusted no one, and survived by staying cold. But Rosa was the one variable he had never accounted for. Rosa Ritchie wasn't just another girl in the system. She carried a storm inside her, a storm fueled by family loyalty, revenge, and a past that refused to let her breathe. Her last name alone was enough to make people step back. She was dangerous, unpredictable, and fiercely guarded. Yet beneath all that fire was something fragile, something she refused to show. Their worlds should never have collided. But they did. It started with glances, brief, accidental, but loaded with tension. Then came the arguments, sharp and cutting, like two blades testing each other's strength. Every encounter felt like a battle, neither willing to surrender, neither willing to admit what was really happening beneath the surface. Because beneath the anger, there was something else. Something neither of them was ready to face. Days turned into weeks, and the tension between them grew unbearable. Others noticed. Whispers spread through the halls. Some said it was just another rivalry waiting to explode. Others saw something deeper, something more dangerous than hate. Because love, in a place like that, was the most dangerous thing of all. One night, everything changed. The facility was quieter than usual. A storm raged outside, rain hitting the windows like a warning. Inside, the lights flickered, casting shadows that seemed to move on their own. Carmen couldn't sleep. His mind was restless, filled with thoughts he couldn't control. And somehow, they all led back to her. He found her near the courtyard, standing alone under the dim light, her expression unreadable. For a moment, he hesitated. Walking away would have been the smart choice. The safe choice. But Carmen had never been good at choosing safe. Couldn't sleep? He asked, his voice calm but edged with something deeper. Rosa didn't turn immediately. When she finally did, her eyes met his, and in that instant, something shifted. "Since when do you care?" She shot back, but her voice lacked its usual sharpness. Silence fell between them, not uncomfortable, not empty, heavy, charged. Every step he took toward her felt like crossing a line he couldn't uncross. Every second stretched, filled with everything they hadn't said. The distance between them disappeared, and suddenly, there was nowhere left to hide. "You should stay away from me," Rosa whispered, but it sounded more like a warning to herself than to him. "Maybe I don't want to," Carmen replied. That was the moment. The breaking point. The moment everything they had been holding back came crashing down. The kiss wasn't gentle. It wasn't planned. It wasn't safe. It was explosive. All the tension, the anger, the confusion, it all collided in that one single moment. It felt wrong, and yet, it felt inevitable. Like something that had been building from the very beginning, waiting for the right moment to ignite. But the world they lived in didn't allow for moments like that. And consequences came fast. The next morning, everything changed. Rosa pulled away. Completely. No explanations. No confrontation. Just distance. Carmen didn't understand. The night before had felt real, more real than anything he had experienced in years. But now, it was like it had never happened. Like she had erased it completely. But Rosa hadn't erased it. She was running from it. Because loving Carmen wasn't just complicated, it was dangerous. Their families, their pasts, their loyalties, everything stood against them. That kiss wasn't just a mistake. It was a betrayal. And someone had seen. Word spread quickly. In a place like that, secrets didn't stay hidden for long. Tension grew. Lines were drawn. What had started as something personal was now becoming something much bigger. Something that could destroy them both. Carmen tried to reach her, but Rosa kept her distance. Every look, every moment of silence between them carried the weight of everything unsaid. And yet, the connection was still there. Stronger than ever. Unavoidable. Until the truth came out. The reason Rosa pulled away wasn't just fear. It was a choice. She had made a deal, one that would protect her family, but at a cost. A cost that meant cutting Carmen out completely. A cost that meant turning her back on the one person who had managed to break through her walls. And when Carmen found out, everything exploded. The confrontation was inevitable. "You used me," he demanded, his voice filled with a mix of anger and something much deeper, hurt. Rosa's silence was answer enough. But the truth was more complicated than that. "I did what I had to do," she said finally, her voice steady, even as her eyes betrayed her. "For them?" Carmen asked. "For survival." That was the difference between them. Carmen wanted out. Rosa didn't believe there was an out. The distance between them became permanent after that. Not because they didn't care, but because they cared too much. And in their world, that kind of emotion was a weakness neither of them could afford. But some things don't end just because you decide they should. And that kiss, that one moment, it never really left them. Because in a place built on walls, control, and survival, it was the only moment they had ever truly been free. If you want, I can continue this into a full multi-part cinematic series with even darker twists, betrayal arcs, and a tragic or shocking ending depending on your target audience.